Welcome to the Manager Matt podcast show. The show is
Welcome
designed
to the
give
Manager
you
Matt
solutions
podcast
to your
show.
day-to-day management
Thank you
and leadership
for tuning
problems.
in, as ever.
It's hosted by
Thank
Matthew
you
Haddock,
for
a
subscribing.
frontline manager
But
and
a
leader
fact, I'm
with
all in
over
for data
25 years of
for the
experience.
many people who've
If
clicked
you're
onto the
ready,
video so
then
far, and there
let's
has
get
been a
on
lot
with the
of
show.
80% of you have not subscribed to the show. What are you doing? You've got a chance to subscribe to some free content. So please, whilst you're listening, subscribe to the show and share it and give it the thumbs up that you need to do. So what's today's show about? Today's show is about ownership. And ownership is an interesting one because as a leader, you have to make sure that you take ownership of whatever you're doing. I know that sounds really simple and you think, well, of course, Matt, everyone takes ownership, but it's surprising how many leaders don't take ownership. You know, they think they can abdicate this ownership of them. They think they can give it away, give it to somebody else to do. You know, it's not for me. I can just give it away. It's not how it works. You know, there is definitely a piece where you are going to have to take ownership for what you do in business. And people are going to look at you for those decisions. Now, small leaders, and I'll call them small leaders just to be not offensive. And there's nothing wrong with not being a certain height. I don't mean it that way around. But there are some small leaders who will not take any ownership. They'll hide from any decision and try to defer it as much as they can. Now, there's a difference between deferring and obviously abdicating. If you just abdicate everything and just leave everyone to make the decisions, then why do we need you anyway? These kind of small leaders are always looking for blame. So when things come and go wrong, they don't take the ownership. They just want to blame somebody for what's gone wrong. And that's definitely a sign of a small leader. What else do they do? They lead through command. So they assume that just because of their position in the command structure, they can just abdicate everything and take no ownership at all. So that's what happens a lot when you see these small leaders. And what they'll do is they'll fall behind procedure. So when something does go wrong, they'll just blame the procedure or they'll blame the hierarchy. They'll say, well, it has to happen. The boss has said we've got to do it that way. On the reverse, the larger leader, it's my fault, you'll hear them say. It's up to me to get that right. It's not you who's let this down, it's me. They take complete ownership of the situation. They will then help their team become better by learning from the errors, not abdicating their responsibilities and accountabilities away by saying, I have this, I own this. If you've made the mistake, that's my fault for not helping you. It's my fault for not showing you how things could be done. And in business, you've got to watch out for the small leaders. We know that because what they do is obviously going to belittle you and make it hard for you. You've also got to watch out for the sharks. Now, what are the sharks? So we had the small leaders and we've had the large leaders. What are the sharks? Well, these are the people who are in positions where you may think they've taken ownership. You think they've got your back. But actually the shark is waiting to pounce and to do what he can to disturb you and make sure that you don't succeed. And that sounds really negative, and it's not my intention to be negative. It's my intention to open your eyes to where these sharks can be around. You know, they can be like in disguise. I mean, it's hard to disguise a shark. They're quite big. Well, some sharks are small, but we digress. But these people, you think you've got them. You think you understand them. You think they've got your back. But actually, they haven't. They're watching, making sure that when it comes to the ownership, they can pass that blame on to you. They can become the small leader again. But you don't know that. You're confused sometimes, maybe, because you've got a good relationship with this person. Maybe you think they've got your back. Maybe you think you're on the same page. It can be a peer. It can be a boss. But the sharks, they will put everything to make sure they're okay. And that'll mean your job might be at risk. So be aware of the sharks. But what does it mean when it comes to actually taking ownership? Well, in my book, whenever I'm in charge of anything, it's about my ownership of the situation. So what do you have to do? You need to understand your team around you. You need to understand what their strengths are. You need to understand, do they have the why? Do they know what's going on? Can they make the decisions without you being there? And that's important because if you haven't delegated enough information and the people can't take ownership themselves, then they're always naturally going to defer for you. It means when I'm wrong, I put my hand up and say I'm wrong. And when the team get it wrong, I put my hand up again and say, we've got this wrong. But you know what I do then? Well, I say, and we're going to learn from that. We're going to get better from that. The mistakes we've made won't be repeated. The errors that we've done, we'll apologise for and we'll move forward with proper plans to get improvements. I will own it as their leader. I will own it as their boss. And I will own it as someone they can trust. I'll be a big leader. I'll stand up. And I hope you'll do the same. Because if you sit listening and watching this programme, you know that being a good leader and being a great leader can make the massive difference to all the people around you. It'll also make your life enjoyable. It will also make your work balance more enjoyable as well, because you'll have that right way of doing things. And it's not about having this overarching feeling of righteousness. It's about doing the right things with your team. It's about making sure that your team understand their place and they understand when things go wrong that you've got their back. And that doesn't mean you're a soft manager either. It doesn't mean that you're going to turn a blind eye to someone's mistakes. No, you're just going to say, okay, that's gone wrong. What we're going to learn from it. You're not going to hang them out to dry when things go wrong, but you're going to make sure that they know that they have been responsible for the issue and they need to recover and they need to make it right with your help and support. So in business, taking ownership and pushing an agenda of ownership down through your ranks will make you respected by your team. It will also mean that you will deliver those precious results because the team will come to you. They will talk to you. When things go wrong, they'll be open with you. And that's a massive thing, because as soon as people start opening up when things do go wrong, they can easily be trusted to fix them and go forward. So, ownership. It's about you being the big leader. It's about keeping an eye out for the small leaders around you, giving them support and help, obviously, and watching out for the sharks, the ones who you know are going to be in your back and trying to snap your legs off, if that's what sharks do. Well, that's it for the show this week. A nice quick one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please keep listening, subscribing and watching, because I'm trying to create content out here for you that you might enjoy watching and listening. And please send me your feedback as it's a gift to managermattpodcast@gmail.com, or obviously comment on the YouTube. Right, well, that's it for now. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for listening to this Manager Matt podcast. We hope you found it interesting, helpful and actionable. One last thing, please leave a quick review on iTunes or with your podcast provider, as it helps to spread the word of Manager Matt. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the podcast, and if you did like anything in particular, send an email to managermattpodcast@gmail.com or visit managermatt.co.uk for more content. Feedback is a gift, so let's keep giving. See you next week.